LT Gamers, welcome back to the channel, it's Luke here, and today we're checking out 6 forgotten space simulation games for you to pick up in 2024. And we're now on episode 5 I think, so we've covered an absolutely amazing array of games in this series. It's getting harder and harder to make these, especially in the realm of space simulation games, which is pretty narrow. If you're interested in those other games, make sure to check out all the other videos. I think at the end of the year, I'll probably stick them into one big compilation list and put it out on the channel and see how that does. But overall, I really need your suggestions, so keep them coming. They're always included on future lists, and look, I just simply need your help now. It's getting harder and harder to find these. This is where it's important to remember that the Forgotten series is basically a mechanism to raise awareness for new and old space simulation games that might have fallen under the radar or deserve more attention. As always, we're pretty relaxed in our definition of a genre. I have to be flexible here to get more games into the lists, but look, we try and stick to what actually makes a space simulation game as much as we can. But let's jump into 6 forgotten space simulation games to pick up in 2024. And kicking off today's list is Frontiers Reach. The developer reached out to me on our Discord and I've really enjoyed his game. In this game, you jump into the cockpit of a retro-futuristic starfighter, if that's even a thing, which it clearly is in this game, and you will battle your way through an interstellar war. With over 35 story missions, 15 side missions, and a dynamic war map featuring more than 2,000 possible scenario variations, there's a huge amount of content for the player to jump into here. Each one of these missions takes place in a physics environment where every bullet, missile, fighter, ground vehicle, and capital ship is a physics object. This adds to the simulation aspect of the game. With battles taking place in space or on planets, there's a wide diversity of environments to run missions in. The game really shines in its world building and art style, with a military science fiction fantasy theme based on the Cold War era. I really like on this channel when I discover games that people have never heard of or I haven't even seen myself, and this was truly one of those gems. It's a really great little title. Now of course it's an indie game, so there are some problems with it, but overall, if you're looking for something unique and fresh to get into, you should give this game a try. Moving onwards, we have a slightly different type of simulation game with Above Earth. This title is a science fiction survival game where you experience a struggle for life in the fragile artificial environment of a damaged space station. The game is set in a near-future world where humanity has established space stations and bases on the Moon and Mars. As the player, you step into the role of an astronaut who witnesses a global nuclear catastrophe and must fight to survive in the devastating aftermath. The game has a very strong concept, but it hasn't quite delivered the vision yet, but it is in early access. And during my time I found it a very tough and challenging survival game with some really unique aspects going for it. This might be one to add to your wish list and keep an eye on, or if you like messing around with early access projects, maybe dive in. It's doing well on Steam, rated 74% mostly positive. Next up we have early access VR title Rogue Stargun. This is a thrilling space combat sim where you pilot 5 distinct starfighters, each featuring virtual reality cockpits. Immerse yourself in a story-driven single-player campaign with over 24 unique missions spanning both land and space. There's some really cool starfighters in this one and some great missions, and the virtual reality element always helps with immersion, so if that's something you enjoy, it's definitely a title that you should check out. You can fly through canyons to take down enemy missile batteries, fly under the shields of enemy capital ships to take down their guns, and bomb mechanized ground walkers on an icy world, while performing daring raids on a space pirate den. There's a huge amount of variety here. There aren't enough reviews on Steam yet to form an overall consensus, so maybe if you pick up the title, consider leaving them one. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button, leave us a comment about what you're thinking, and subscribe to the channel. You can also support LT Gaming by hitting that join button below the video and joining our Discord. Both me and Tom really appreciate all the interaction. Next up, we have a very old title in Parkan 2, and I'm gonna say I haven't actually played this one, but it was recommended to me, and when I looked into it and did my research, it looks a very strong title. As always with these lists, I'll make sure to remedy that and go out and check this one out myself. However, from what I picked up, this game offers a unique experience, putting you in the cockpit of a spacecraft lost in the vast universe. You're able to choose your path as a pirate or mercenary, amass wealth, and upgrade to the most powerful cruiser to assert your dominance over the galaxy. You can then embark on an unforgettable adventure in the expansive Parkan 2 universe. It sounds exactly like the type of games I really enjoy, like the titles from the X series, Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous, and others, so definitely was a great gem that crossed my path. Yes, it is an older title and you will have to consider that, but it's rated mostly positive at 75%, and where I'm based can be picked up for €3.99, so really is a no-brainer just to try out. If you've played this game, do let me know in the comments below what you like about it, why it is still a good and forgotten space simulation game. I'll be interested to read those. Next on the list, we go back to 2003 with X2 The Threat, a title brought to us by Egosoft. This title is a classic space simulator, but it still holds up in 2024 as a gem of the genre. Gem of the genre? That was a fun one to say, but anyway, let's roll on. You take on the role of Julianne Gardner, continuing the story from X Beyond the Frontier. Despite its age, the game's graphics, enhanced by its then updated engine, managed to create an immersive universe filled with intricately designed ships and stations, offering a rich and complex spacefaring experience that stands the test of time. If you like exploration, there's over 130 beautifully designed sectors here, or maybe you're into ships, there's 60 of them, varying in size from scout class all the way up to battleship. I picked this game up on GOG a while back and I have to say it still holds up as a really fun title, and if you're looking to get it on Steam, it's rated very positive at 82%. I haven't tried it on Steam Deck yet, and to be honest, I have heard that it doesn't work, but maybe I'll give it a go later. And finally, we reached the pinnacle of this list with one of the most recommended games from the other videos, and that is Free Space 2. You were crying out for me to feature this one, so I finally did. This is a legendary space combat sim that still sets a standard for the genre, with epic space battles, a gripping story, and stunning visuals that hold up even today. This game offers an unforgettable journey through the cosmos. Whether you're a seasoned pilot or a newcomer, Free Space 2 is a must-play for any fan of space sims. In this game, players pilot a starfighter equipped with mounted weapons to take down enemy ships, conduct reconnaissance missions behind enemy lines, or escort allied vessels. The game features a flight model that favours a more accessible arcade-style interpretation of space physics over realistic Newtonian mechanics, making for a fast-paced and engaging game. I do know that the base game is really only the beginning here, as there's a vast array of amazing mods that completely transform the experience and are probably the closest we'll ever get to Free Space 3. It's only rated 78% mostly positive on Steam, but to be honest, that's because a lot of players struggle to get it to work out of the box on that platform. I own it on GOG and it works just fine. It's a title I'd love to dive into more, and I want to explore the mods and maybe feature some on the channel, so once again, your comments are needed below. Overall, thank you for pushing me to feature this game. It definitely does raise my own interest in getting to know it a lot better. And I'm very happy to recommend it to all other LT gamers out there. So there we go, we get to the end of another Space Simulations list, and honestly, I really want to thank you for your suggestions, but you've got to keep them coming if we want to make more of these. And of course, we are one of the few channels that do this without AI voices. It's just me being myself, and Tom of course, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff that really helps us. I've been Luke from LT Gaming, and I'll catch you on the next one.